What up, though, man? How you doing, man?
What's up, AG?
I'm doing all right. I'm really pumped. I'm not much of a gamer, but I did pre-buy NBA 2K23.
Oh, let's go.
It comes with a full year of League Pass. So
that might be worth it just for that.
yeah, because the game itself is like $60, $70, and then
PlayStation, Xbox?
PlayStation.
Gotcha.
And then League Pass in itself is $100. You spend $150 and get all two. So it's just like
How can
no
they
brainer.
How are they making money? Sony? Is it Sony who sells it to you? PlayStation?
Yeah.
Or EA, the video
EA
game?
Sports probably got something going on with Sony and just a trifecta.
Man, they're trying to get that. Do you want to renew or not? It will renew automatically in 1 year.
I don't know.
Get you in that second year.
But I was just like, that's worth it to me. Like
Yeah.
NBA junkie. This is episode 8 of the Moontalk streamcast.
Number 8.
Yeah. But we were going heavy in the Southpaw, and I'm really happy we're bringing that back. But yeah, man, get your 2K23 subscription.
I haven't played 2K, I think, since it might have been like 2K12 or so. Like,
Oh wow, it's been a minute.
we used to play in not our dorms, in our house when I was up in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
At college. We play 2K and we play NHL and FIFA.
Those are the classics.
Golden.
The classics. I sucked at FIFA.
I wouldn't tell you how we would play them because we would usually play them on Friday, Saturday nights.
I've been pretty faithful to 2K, but I haven't played in the last 2 or 3 years because I feel like it's just the same game getting bought over again. But they hooked me with the League Pass.
They
I
got
was
it.
like, I'm just going to use this for that.
That's worth it. And the League Pass, you get to watch all 30 teams anytime they're on, you have access.
Anytime it's not local or TNT televised, which does suck sometimes because then you have to flip back over.
Gotcha, but at least you have access to it. I was trying to watch the Tigers game a month or two ago, and I couldn't. Or actually, it was near the beginning of the season. I couldn't watch it. Like, I couldn't find it without like subscribing to Bally or so. Like it. Man,
Yeah, and
streaming
then-
rights and everything.
Yeah, and then the Bally name change, I wasn't rocking with that one.
Oh, man, I think of Bally as like the gyms. There was an old kind of rundown gym, down the road from Bally. Man,
It's weird.
Man.
But the reason why I brought up 2K, though, is because when I did play 2K, I did a lot of the My Team building, which is like all like fantasy.
so much fun. Do you like doing that?
Yeah, I love doing that, except they kind of make it like a little bit cheesy now. Like they give like Shaq point guard skills. So it's like, how the hell am I going to defeat this man? So
That would be insane.
and that's probably why I turned away from 2K a couple years ago when they started doing that. But
But you were one that likes building the teams, being the general manager,
Yeah.
like going through the season, whatever it was called in the different games.
yeah, and
Dynasty mode.
all time too. Like
So much
players
fun.
from any era. And then that's how you learn about the game a lot too. Like your John Havlicek's and your Jerry West and see how
yeah.
they play or whatever. So it is cool. So I wanted to bring that up because you were telling me about like the NFT fantasy space that is growing now. That
It's happening.
you sent me a bunch of stuff and I'm like, I'm gonna need like 2 weeks to digest this.
It's
Was
a
it
lot-
Reignmakers?
Yeah, DraftKings.
Yeah.
That was the main one that I've dove into this last month. And I've been kind of preparing for it. They've been talking about it. Matt Kalish, one of the co-founders in the Discord, he's been talking about it for a while. And just the concept seems interesting. It's to be determined how it all goes, how it all runs, but they're making some really strategic, some really cool moves. And I'm excited for football season, which tells me they're doing something right. You know, I just got back into fantasy in the last couple of years. We play in a couple leagues together, and it's gotten really fun. But the most frustrating part about fantasy leagues is when you have 1 or 2 or 3 guys like in your league that just don't, by the time a month into the season they're not really paying
They're
attention.
disengaged.
And, then all those players are gone. You can't use those players.
Right.
So
And they're sitting on the bench and they're not even really competing. And
yeah. So it takes a little bit of the excitement out. I mean, it's still fun to play with our friends, but I was getting excited when they're talking about doing it in NFT form, and to be clear in a maybe not so clear way, they're not even marketing it as, and it doesn't need to be marketed as an NFT. This is more just like a digital a new digital way of playing DraftKings fantasy.
Okay.
And are you familiar with how DraftKings does their fantasy sports? You know how you get a salary, you
Yeah.
know, $50,000, and you got to pick a quarterback or running back. You know, build your team from their how much they cost on the platform.
Yeah.
What DraftKings,
A lot of finessing there.
It is, and it's fun. It's the only one I do like that, and it's cool. I would usually, I don't want to say even every Sunday, but I play $3 games or $5. You know,
So you're not a FanDuel guy at all, either.
No.
Okay.
No, not necessarily because I don't like it, or I just haven't used it very much. So I just been using DraftKings, play fantasy on Yahoo, and
So pro tip, I know you're
Hit me.
about to get into it, but I started with DraftKings and then I switched to FanDuel because, like, I don't know, say Tom Brady comes down with the flu right before the game and you just spent salary money on Tom Brady, FanDuel will give you the opportunity to switch that person out, similar
Interesting.
salary.
even after the game started,
even after the game started.
you give you a little grace period.
Yeah, like it's a quick one, but in DraftKings, like you don't know, something happens, like somebody gets suspended, like during warm-ups or something.
You draft Calvin Ridley, and he decides to bet on today's game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, like, you're screwed. You're locked in. But FanDuel won't give you the benefit of the doubt. Like, how the hell was anybody supposed to know this was going down? And then you can flip somebody from a similar salary.
We thought Deshaun Watson was just getting a massage to recover. Like, we didn't know it was going to be out for
for 2 years.
Too soon.
No, it's appropriate. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, what if you could? Shout out to FanDuel. I mean, there is no real specific reason why I'm not doing that.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because you're like every Sunday.
Good point.
Dabble.
Though.
I'm like, maybe you should switch over because people get screwed over.
It's a very good point. You know what DraftKings is doing? All the contests, the contests are free, but you're paying for the players. So you're paying for the players ahead of time. Like now, they rolled this out last week. You can start now building your teams with just these digital player cards and using players from your team, from your bench, from your portfolio in each game or in various contests that day.
Okay.
So they have players split up, tiered in rarity levels. So there's like, the one of ones are the Reignmakers. Then there's legendary, there's rare, elite, and core.
So do you get access to all of these levels?
So
and then you can only use a certain number of them?
Unlock levels. You unlock tiers of contests that you're allowed to enter in based on the rarity or based on the players that you have on your team. So you may have a legendary Jared Goff and a bunch of cores, like a bunch of the more basic rarity level cards, but because you have this Goff this legendary one, it qualifies you in this higher tier of winnings or gifts and prizes.
Okay.
Like, and it's much more complex and intuitive than that. Like, you need to have 2 legendary players to get into these or whatnot. So, and it's all done like by their system. Like, you don't need to. It's not a difficult platform to use or to figure out. Like, if you don't qualify for a contest, it like won't let you do it.
Okay.
So it's easy, but that's how you are able to know what contests you can enter in.
So the tiers dictate the rewards, essentially.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense.
And they say they're giving their contests they're running $1 million a week. For the first 16 weeks, there's a whole like season-long competition. Who's going to be like the Reignmaker champion? And at the end, like in week 15, they're actually hosting like a weekend in New Orleans where the top 50 players from the season go down and compete. And like the winner gets $250,000 and the rest split, $750,000. They're like going all out with the prizes and contests and giveaways to try to blow this up.
So is this unlimited space for anybody can enter at the beginning, or is it limited as far as entries?
Yes, it is not limited.
Okay.
It's unlimited at the core level. So the way they have a limited supply of the various tiers. Like there's only one of one Reignmaker. There's 4 legendary, 30 elite. cores, the rares and cores are the two least rare tiers. Cores are, I think, unlimited. You know, there's an uncapped supply, so anybody can come in and build their team with the lowest tier rarity. And in fact, when you sign up for the Reignmakers, you get a free pack that you get to like open packs of cards.
Oh, God.
You get a free pack, and it builds your team for you. Like you get a starter set, so
it's gonna feed my addictive personality.
Yeah, you can literally play for free. Like you can just sign up and play for free.
Okay.
If you want to get into the more contests, you upgrade some of your players.
Yeah. So you can upgrade those core cards, or you have to purchase
both.
Like, okay.
There are going to be all kinds of burning mechanisms and deflationary things.
Got it. Okay.
The cards are also able to carry you into next season. Like there's going to be a new season of, you know, a new collection of Reignmakers cards, but because it's an NFT on the blockchain, they're going to be able to use the cards that you own in season 1 in future seasons for various giveaways and prizes and contests.
So for security purposes, because I know we've been talking about security, what do you need to sign up? Do you need a specific wallet? Do you need where do you hold?
So it can all be done with USD. There's no cryptocurrency involved. On the DraftKings marketplace is where everything goes down, and you can use your credit card.
Okay.
It just I don't know how it all functions in the back end, you know, the literal blockchain technology, but basically they're doing the currency exchange. DraftKings is taking that on behind the scenes. They're on a really inexpensive blockchain.
Got it.
That allows for that to be cheap for them, and they're just eating the cost. So we don't have to go through. Like you and I know the barrier of entry, the amount of friction it takes to like fund your digital wallet. You know, you can buy crypto, send it to this wallet, send it to this blockchain.
Right. Send it to this platform so you can. That makes sense.
This is just, and that's why I said it doesn't even need to be considered an NFT, because you can do it all in US dollar on DraftKings. You have no idea you're even interacting with.
The transactions are more NFT based, if you will.
It just
that's the model of it.
It creates the timestamp and a history of this specific digital card.
Okay.
You know the whole history of that.
Cool.
But anyone can buy anything at any time with a credit card.
Okay. And this sounds like a dynasty play, too, because you can use them for next season.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
So it'll carry on. Even the player cards, they can update during the season. So, like, there are stats and stuff that are tied to that token.
Oh, sweet.
They can change. So, like,
if a player balls out one game, then that's sweet. I like that.
Right now, they're broken out. I think there are 30 QB1s. Like, players have these funky traits, not funky, QB, like whether they're a skill starter or a role player, a defensive player. There's a QB1 where it's, you know, the starting quarterbacks that are already decided upon right now. And I asked this question in the Discord the other night. This is how I know. I was like,
Discord.
Yeah, I was like, what if, because they had Drew Lock, the starting a quarterback for the Seahawks, who was a QB1, and Geno Smith was not a QB1 in this search that I was doing. If Geno Smith wins the job, they can update that token to make him QB1, bump Drew Lock down. So there's a lot of strategy in terms of how you're building the team from week to week and being able to sell players after a certain week.
Right.
You know, you can't use the same token in 2 contests. So if you want to use Derrick Henry in multiple, you got to buy multiple tokens of his. You can't just use one across all.
Okay.
It's really interesting.
No, that's sweet, because that rewards like the strategic, like, fantasy guy or girl who's just hooked on this.
Yeah.
Like, knowing about some of the sleepers and whatnot. They're probably like wide receiver 6s right now that people know that, oh no, he's going to be the 2 or whatever. Yeah,
like, yes, I'm trying to think of an example. Actually, I have 2 Reignmakers, the 1 of 1. They're all way too expensive now, but at the beginning I snuck in some cheap auctions. But one was
sweet.
Kendrick Bourne.
You're the man.
It was like a wide receiver. Thank you, man. It was like I think he's slated to be like a number 4 or 5 receiver before the year for the Patriots.
Vikings? Oh,
Patriots.
Okay.
But like I started reading these articles, and like he could have a Deebo Samuel effect. Like he's going to fit in well in this. I'm just picturing Patriots offenses.
Yeah.
And it's like they always have those little running backs that they just
Gadget
utilize, James White and you know what I'm saying, that have decent fantasy games. So I snagged that one. We'll see.
I like that.
We'll see. It's going to be fun.
Are there any fees associated with transacting on DraftKings blockchain?
You mean like gas fees?
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Okay.
So everything is, I mean, it's literally as if you're buying it with your credit card. You don't even know. There's nothing that really tells you you're interacting with the NFT.
Got it. Okay, because like using DraftKings historically, like they'll take a little piece off the pot or whatever. So I'm just trying to figure out how.
Oh yeah, and like a royalty if you sell.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm 99% sure that they don't take anything. Like I think that's the reason they put it on. I want to say the Flow blockchain.
Okay.
Like something that it's just unlike Ethereum, which has crazy high fees right now, and you know with everything we're moving towards the merge. We may want to touch on that right now.
Yeah.
Gas fees, like that was such a huge topic when we first started. It's still an important topic, but like
tell everyone what gas fees are real quick, just in case.
I think of them simply as like a transaction fee, but like when you're going to buy a cryptocurrency or an NFT,
Yeah.
you're going to the exchange, you're going to buy it. When you sign the contract that says I want to buy it,
There's
confirm
a box that pops up, says confirm or cancel.
Yeah, confirm or cancel. They give you an estimated gas fee, which is basically how much it costs for this transaction to run. You know, the blockchain is still using energy. It's still using, these technologies that require that somebody has to pay for it somewhere. So these gas fees are a part of a transaction. So I just thought of them like a credit card fee, like the 3% that you're charged when you swipe a credit card. Like that's how I think of it. Do you think about it differently, or
I think about it the same way, but it's also like a credit card / stock option for me because
explain. Interesting.
Because sometimes like it depends on how the day's flowing. Like gas fees could be crazy, like because everybody is transacting at a specific time, and so for everybody's transactions to go through, the gas fee goes up. So I was going to ask you what's the most expensive gas fee you paid, but I can't even remember. But
I'll try to think of it. But you brought up a good point. When I was giving my example, I made it sound like all gas feeds are created equal. They're not.
Yeah, no.
It's based on the traffic of that blockchain. If there's a billion people buying NFTs on Ethereum at this moment, the gas fees are higher.
Right.
The less people.
Example of it is, I forget the name of the project, but they ended up all looking like Gundams, and they all look the same.
Explain what you're going to. I'm going to think it while you're talking.
It'll come back, but it was like in the NFT community, there was this project that was like, it's gonna like make waves in NFT. Like, I don't even know what the utility of it was, like what they were trying to get at. But at this particular time, when everybody was trying to mint the project, and minting is like when you first get the NFT piece from wherever, and it's at its like lowest price, like somebody selling the album for the first time, it's $10.99. Like NFTs range anywhere between like probably like $200 and $400 first time, and maybe even less than that. But everybody was talking about this project, and so everybody was trying to freaking mint this project. And so when everybody was going to do that on the Ethereum network, the gas fees were out of this world.
At the exact same, they all went at the exact same time to try to get the first 10,000 of these.
And some people got screwed because what can happen, and this is why I kind of stay away from minting, is you can mint something and then you don't receive it because it's supply and demand, right? Everybody is doing it at the same time. You might not get it, but you might get hit with the gas fee.
Because you're not confirming you're not accepting an exact amount of gas that you're going to pay up front. They give you an estimate, but really it could be just about anything.
Right.
So people were confirming, they're accepting, yes, I want to move forward, it's high. And then all of a sudden, either their token doesn't show up because it went to someone else, or they get it, but then they look at their wallet and they realize it cost them $2,000 for this $200 thing.
Right. And they didn't have enough to like cover the price of ownership and the gas fee. So you just get hit with what you have.
Wow.
So
Was it the other side project that had the crazy gas war where
them too. Yeah.
basically there was like $50 million of gas fees paid to people who didn't receive anything? Like, I forget the terminology, but it was just like wasted money.
Yeah, and this is like, again, if you're getting NFTs now, you're still early. This is still an early space, and what I keep hearing, and this is why I kind of stay away from minting now, is, oh, we're gonna send the gas fees back from the project owners, and they never fucking do. I've gotten burned like 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Where people have promised that and haven't?
Yeah. But the other thing, like, I wasn't expecting to have it back. I was like, this is just the game right now, and like hopefully with ETH 2 that we're gonna talk about, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But
that's you knew that going in.
Yeah,
like
I knew this was the potential, because if you don't go in there with that mindset, you're gonna be pissed. Like absolutely pissed.
I remember it happened 2 times where it happened, but the founders did refund them.
I wasn't in those projects.
Had you heard of Akutars?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Micah Johnson, former professional baseball player, also a former college baseball player at Indiana, who I played against back in the day.
Shout out Indiana.
Shout out. Oh,
or never mind.
Go Blue.
Go Blue. My bad.
I like Indiana. Like Bloomington. I appreciate IU, but Micah Johnson, he created a project called the Akutars, and also the Vayner Sports Pass by Gary Vaynerchuk's brother AJ. They put out a project. Both had an unfortunate planned gas war. Basically, they tried to.
Oh, I think I saw.
Tried to roll out these projects to avoid it. With allow lists and whitelist, various things. But day of came and there was a huge gas war, and the Akutar specifically was like a major thing. And he ended up, Micah, through the project, ended up refunding multiple millions of dollars in those failed transaction fees.
Good for him.
Yeah, a very knightly thing. What's the right word? Very. It's the right thing to do.
Yeah. The moral thing to do.
Yeah. And same thing happened with AJ with the VSP pass, and it was only, I think, maybe $1 million or around that area, which is a lot of money, and people spending than not receiving anything. We talk about wanting to grow the NFT space, like that's $1 million that could go into other stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and I hate hearing stuff like that, because good for them refunding people.
Yeah.
But that will turn some of these new folks off, like, completely. Like, you got to get in. You have to know it's coming, and that's why we're here. Mm-hmm. Because like my first couple times, and like I was saying on this podcast, my best way of learning is to get involved.
Yeah.
And so like I learned the hard way, like also with getting rugged and whatnot. But
did you learn through a failed transaction?
Yeah.
Got you.
That's why I'm not minting really anymore. Unless like I really believe, like, for whatever reason this project is going to be out of this world, I'll give it a shot. I do understand that I might be missing out on that initial price break, but like who knows like what's gonna happen. Like at that time a project is available, there could be some gas war I have no idea that's going on, and it's gonna cost $3,000 just to make the transaction happen, and
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Like
that's where the risk and reward is just not there.
You don't own anything. You just gave that up to the game, basically.
It just disappeared. Like it disappears.
Yeah. So like gas wars do happen, and being aware of them is very critical, because like part of what Ethereum 2 is trying to essentially alleviate are those high gas fees.
And so you're referencing what's going on in ETH world and Ethereum world right now. There's the merge happening.
Yeah, the merge is slated to happen in September. We'll see if that actually happens, but
all right, I'm not going to try to kick this off.
Yeah.
Give me how would you explain to people, what this ETH 2.0, the ETH merge, like the transition, where does that go in your head?
So on the highest level, bird's eye view, it's an upgraded network, an upgraded transaction-based network that they're trying to create, and on top of transactions, staking as well. So this was supposed to happen for the last 2 years. I've been hearing about ETH 2. And so I guess they have decided September it's going down.
Gotcha.
And so what the initial, and I'm not sure, like it's been pushed back so many times. Like I don't know what the true like aim here is. Like at first, when I first heard about it, it was like these gas fees are too high. So the new network will definitely improve that. But it sounds like they're going from just a transaction model where you can transact on Ethereum to also stake your cryptocurrency coins on there too. So what you can't currently do now on the current Ethereum network, but you can do that through third-party companies.
Is that what, when I see moving from proof of work to proof of stake, is that what this is referring to?
Correct, yep.
And I know those terms have a lot more under them.
Yeah.
Even though you just hit on both of the topical, like, okay, so I'm with you.
It's a lot to unpack. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I fully understand everything, but the analogy that I kept seeing was in the dangers of it's either going to go really good or really bad. So the analogy that I heard was them upgrading their network, whoever's responsible for the network. It's like changing a tire on a moving car on the highway that's going full speed. So the Ethereum network is a living, exactly. It's a living organism essentially that we're utilizing every single day for these transactions. And so trying to upgrade it while keeping it secure and reaping all the benefits on what's to come while keeping it up at the same time without failure, it seems like
that part was what I was curious. In my old job and your current job, when we're talking to our clients, the important thing with their traditional network is no downtime. They're putting in new systems, but we can't have any downtime, or we got to minimize it. So they're doing the Vitalik Buterin, the creators, whoever's running Ethereum now, like that they're doing it all while they're trying to make these monster changes while it's all still running.
Yeah, like bringing up my current job, your old job, like think about DevOps, like these companies who want to have their own technologies to fix and create their own applications freely. So like you're on somebody's app and I don't know, the purchase button doesn't work. These companies, if they have the technology, they're able to go in themselves while the app is still live and fix that functionality in it. And then, I don't know, an hour later, 2 hours, it's working again versus going through a third party who hosts your application and calling them and be like, hey, can you fix this? This shit is not working.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they're trying to like do it on the fly while the network is up. And I know we've talked about Solana in the past, which is one of the competitors of Ethereum. Like I've got very little Solana, but I've got a few Solana NFTs. But Solana's, they're trying to be the anti-Ethereum, if you will, by removing the gas fee issue. So there are still fees, but they're so minimal.
Right.
That's because their transaction speed is a lot quicker than Ethereum's. But with that, it's so fast that the network keeps crashing. So it's crashed like maybe 4 times in the last year and a half, which...
So you're sacrificing some of that, some security for low to no fees.
Correct. And we just talked about some of the wallets getting robbed and shit like that because the network goes down. So they're saying...
Nervous. That makes me scared.
This could be a colossal failure or a crazy just upside if this goes smoothly and as predicted. So
interesting.
Ethereum holders are supposed to get rewarded after this for essentially investing into the product. And then I think it was if you have, I'm just going to say version 1 ETH.
Yeah.
Then you can stake that for rewards on this new.
So that was what I was going to ask. You said Ethereum holders are getting rewards. It's the ones that stake their Ethereum to ETH 2.0?
That's what I'm a little fuzzy about. I don't know if it's like if you're currently staking them with a third party, then that's when you receive the rewards, or if you already hold Ethereum today and then choose to stake it after the change.
We both have some more research to do.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be staked ahead of time, but
me too. But I also they're trying to use their network as where you stake it at, so that's kind of where I'm like I don't know.
Fortunately, we're gonna have some time before this episode comes out and before the merge happens. So
yeah.
I want to revisit that because I think
merge could be scary, bro.
Yeah, reminds me of the Purge. Yeah. Like the merge, I have very dark visions of this moment.
Because we were talking off mic, I'm like, I don't know what this means for Ethereum NFTs either.
Yeah, like what's going to happen?
It could nothing. It could be catastrophic. Like I don't know, but definitely stay tuned. Like this episode will be out by the time maybe the merge happens, but we'll definitely follow up and report on that.
We'll definitely. Dude, thanks for sharing that knowledge with me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, something to pay attention to.
Appreciate it.
It's a little scary, but we'll get there together.
We'll get there together. Cool. Thanks, man.